our raid teams. Could you clarify how catch-up mechanics will operate in order to allow us to maintain a viable second spec with its associated artifact power and abilities? So if I want to be Retribution as my main spec, but every once in a while my guild needs a tank, how does that work?
Yeah, so again, I think artifact knowledge is the key there.
Okay.
There are couple dozen levels of artifact knowledge for players to progress through, and you will get increasingly large bonuses to all artifact power gained the longer you spend at max level dedicating your time to raising your knowledge. And of course, the costs of traits increases proportionally. And so what that means is, if you focused on your primary weapon and, you are 20 traits in, let's say, and you have a certain knowledge level, you're going to have a choice of, well, do I want one more trait in my main weapon, or with that same amount of knowledge, the same amount of gameplay time, I could buy 5 traits in this weapon that I've kind of had lagging behind. So I think our goal is for it to be pretty easy to keep multiple weapons up to about 80% of the level of your max weapon. To go much beyond that, you're going to make some sacrifices, but there's some value in that, right? There's some value in rewarding someone who dedicates themselves wholly to a single spec. The person who is like, no, I just want to be a fire mage. That is the thing that I care most about. I'm going to put every ounce of my capability into maximizing this weapon. They're going to have a weapon that's a few percent better than someone who also wants to play Frost and Arcane, but they're also going to have less versatility in terms of how easily they can switch over to that spec. But that's a choice for players to make.
Yeah, and I think it makes sense too, because obviously you don't want to run into a situation where, again, using my example of if I want a main Retribution, but sometimes I need the tank, I should be able to function as a tank, but I shouldn't be better than our main tank.
And function well. I think the key thing is it's everyone should be able to be viable at whatever level of content that you're doing. The power differences that we're talking about here at the high end are, do you have 3 more minor traits in your main weapon, or did you put that power into other weapons to get them really caught up? And those 3 minor traits are just a few percent power difference, right? So just to be clear, our intent, we understand that there are tons of people who expect to play multiple specs for meaningful competitive content. We totally want to allow that and let that work. But the way the system inherently works, you can hyper-specialize if you really want to eke out every possible bit of power from a single weapon.
Cool. Next question comes